Back to the Future? No. Scream? No. Russia? Well, that's exactly how I felt when I watched Time Cut. To be very honest with you, I did not have too many expectations from the movie, but whatever expectations I had, it fell flat. Time Cut is a movie that began production before Totally Killer, yet the movie itself seemed a total rip-off of Totally Killer. I was very disappointed with the movie's direction and how it was filled with plot holes throughout. To give a brief about the movie, it revolves around a girl trying to save her estranged sister who was killed around 20 years ago by a sweetly slasher. However, the movie struggled to find a clear identity. It didn't seem to know if it wanted to be a horror film or somewhat in the genre of Scream. The lack of clarity in terms of what the movie wanted to be was a real disappointment for me. Neither it was fitting in the genre of horror nor time travel. With that said, there are certain positives that I'd like to highlight in the movie. Some positives in the movie was that the movie was easygoing. And when I say that, it really means that the movie did not demand so much attention. Most of the time travel movies that I watched, they would keep you at the edge of the seat. Or they would be demanding so much attention that you are going ahead and watching it multiple times, say twice or thrice. It could serve as a great background entertainment while cooking or doing household chores. I appreciated the light feel it had, making it easy on the brain. Also, the movie tried to reconnect with the early 2000s, which was very nostalgic for me. Character development is another aspect that I actually liked in the movie, and character development, again, when I speak about it, not all the characters got developed. In fact, most of the characters saw zero development except the parents. The parents of the protagonist, we could see there was quite good character development being shown in a subtle manner. When we see them in the past, they were lively and happy. Fast forward 20 years after their daughter's death, we see that they are lifeless and grief stricken. The change in the warmth, the change in how they treat their daughter Lucy is very beautifully shown in the movie in a subtle manner, not talking of the disappointments. So what I didn't like was how the movie failed in creating the slasher element. So if I go ahead and look at a slasher movie, say Scream, I would be at the edge of my seat. It's going to be gory, it's going to be having jump scares and a lot of unpredictability. And Time Cut, it was completely opposite of that. On top of it, it was highly predictable. So when I was watching the movie, 30 or 45 minutes down into the movie, we already predicted it that it's going to be Quinn, who is somehow related with the murders. So very predictable. Now the slasher, the masked killer, it was very weak and unconvincing. On top of it, it also lacked a strong backstory or motive. This made the slasher look very weak compared to the other characters. The twist where the same person is helping the protagonist, Lucy, turns out to be the slasher in an alternate universe was confusing. Wait, let me make it easier. So Quinn is helping Lucy to find out the slasher, and turns out Quinn himself is a slasher but in an alternate universe, and he has been going and killing people for his own revenge motives. Now that felt messy, and somehow it tried to draw some inspiration, in fact, not some, very little inspiration from the Australian movie Triangle, but the execution was terrible. There were also many open questions and paradoxes, such as Lucy going back to the 2000s to save her sister, then applying for NASA internship, getting into the college, yet there are no background records, no background checks, no background verification done. Feels very unrealistic, sounds like some Bollywood movie to me. Now, when Lucy returns to the 2000s, right, it leaves a lot of unresolved questions for me. What happened to the 2023 version of her? So, if Lucy has saved her sister, it clearly means that Lucy will never be born, right? The thing is, in one of the scenes, it was shown that her parents went ahead and said they could only afford one daughter. Secondly, what about her parents and friends? Did they not notice that she was not there anymore in 2020s? Even her NASA internship in 2023 or 24, that went unaddressed in terms of her sudden disappearance. this was a major plot hole that bothered me throughout. So, coming to the final thoughts, if you ask me, the movie leaves many unanswered questions, but if you're looking forward to a movie that is chill to watch, that you can watch as a pastime just to get fall asleep, it's okay for me. Okay, Time Cut could have been better if it chose to either focus on time travel or a slasher storyline instead of blending them. So would I rewatch it? Maybe if I couldn't sleep somewhere around 2 or 3 a.m. and needed some background noise, that's it. And would I recommend it? No, I won't recommend it. If you really love 2 to 3 hours of your life, you can watch some other good movie as well. Closing note is that this movie is something that can be skipped. That's all from my end for the review of this movie. If you really like my work, feel free to subscribe to my channel, like the video, hit the bell icon, right? It will serve as a lot of encouragement for us. Thank you and thanks a lot.